So let's get to Brandon from Colorado Springs. Hey, Brandon, how you doing?
Hey, Matt. Hey, I had a question tonight. Been dialoguing with more skeptics, and I came across an interesting one, which it has to do with love.
Okay.
And Paul lays out what love is in 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of confused about this because basically when he laid out love, the skeptic came up with basically just counterpoints, I guess.
Okay.
Like jealousy does not seek after its own, is not provoked, and he came up with examples where God seeks after his own, is provoked, and is jealous. And I was just wondering, I looked it up in the Greek, and apparently agape is used.
Okay.
And I know the Greek uses a few different words for love. Agape, eros, and
Phileo.
Phileo, that's right. And so I was wondering if you could maybe explain agape, because I don't think I have a proper understanding of it. I know in 2 Corinthians 11:2, Paul says there's a such thing as a godly jealousy. So I'm just a little confused.
Okay. First of all, agape does not mean divine love. Okay?
Okay.
It's a very, 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 very common mistake that Christians make all over the place. It does not mean divine love. If agape just meant that, then we have a problem in Luke 11:43. Woe to you Pharisees, for you agape, you love the front seats in the synagogues and the respectful greetings in the marketplaces. So, how could they, in that sense, do that? Well, they can't. Agape really means an incredible and deep devotion to. Now, in the sense of agape here, it also, when God's using it of us, it means that thing we call love as well. But that meaning doesn't just mean divine love, because the Pharisees are doing this, okay? That's just an FYI.
Okay.
Okay, now, 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak in tongues with tongues of angels but don't have love, I become a noisy gong or clanging cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and know all mysteries and knowledge, and if I have all faith as to move mountains but do not have love, I'm nothing. And if I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I deliver my body to be burned but do not have love, it profits me nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, it's not jealous, it's not brag. What's Paul talking about? God's love and nature and work, or man's?
I guess man's love.
Absolutely. If I do this, if I do that, I need to have love. What Paul's talking about is the human aspect of what love really is to be. Love is to be patient. We are to exhibit patience. Is God patient with us? Well, sure. And kind. Is he kind with us? Yes. And to not be jealous. Now, how is God jealous with us? He jealously desires that we honor him and love him. It's a good thing, because in the jealousy that God has for us, it's for our best that he would have us and that we would be with him. But the jealousy that is here is one of envy, the one of sinfulness, because he's talking about human beings and the human level of that. It's what the atheist has done, what the skeptic has done, is basically not looked at the words in their context. He's committed what's called illegitimate totality transfer. It's an exegetical fallacy. He's taken the full scope of meanings of a single word in different contexts and then taken one contextual meaning and another one and contrasted them. And so you see, they contradict each other.
Yeah.
So he's made a mistake. Words mean what they mean in context. The context of 1 Corinthians 13:4 is talking about patience and kindness and not bragging and not being arrogant. But wait a minute. Does God brag about his greatness? Does he say, I am the Lord, you shall have no others? Does he say there's none greater than I? Well, is that bragging? Well, I guess it is. So I guess God is bragging. He's not really loving, is he? Well, wait a minute. Yet the writers call him love, 1 John 4:8. You see, what they'll do is they'll say, well, with God, it doesn't work. But with man, it does, or vice versa. And they'll try and establish a contradiction that doesn't really exist. See, God, because he's the ultimate standard of what is perfect and good and right and holy, he can say that he is jealous for us. And that it's a good, healthy jealousy. I want you for me because it's the best for you to have that. And he says, I am the greatest. Well, it's not bragging, it just happens to be true. You know? It is. Now, if I were to go to my wife and say, hey, hon, I do so well on the radio. Here, you need to listen to all my shows and let's talk about how great I am. Look how I memorized those verses right there. Isn't that great? My wife would roll her eyes and say, you're bragging. Right? Now, but what about when God does it? There's no one greater. I'm the most holy. You go, whoa. He's just simply informing us of the truth. Where my bragging is really an exaggeration.